Hi fashion lovers, welcome back. Today I'll be showing you how to draft the pattern for this trendy overbust corset top. It's a clean, structured style that gives you that snatched, stylish look and it's been trending a lot lately. So if you love learning new corset styles and improving your pattern skills, then this is definitely for you. So if you're new here, kindly subscribe to the channel and let's get right into the drafting. Alright guys, to begin, I have gone ahead to draw out my horizontal lines, which are my shoulder to bust point, under bust line, and then half length and top length. For the top length, I made use of 26 inches, which is 7 inches from my half length to top length. To begin drafting, I divided my shoulder by 2 and I came down by 1 inch on that point for my shoulder slope. For the neckline, I used 3.5 inches for the neck wideness and the neck depth. So this is not the neckline we're working with, this is just a guide. After connecting the neck curve, I connected my shoulder slope like this. Then for my shoulder slope, I came down by 8 inches and that's my bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5 inch. Then I ruled an horizontal line on that point. After that, I marked my shoulder divided by 2 on that armhole line and I connected it to my shoulder slope as shown. So having done that, I divided what I have on that arm side length into 2 and I came in by 0.5 inch on that point. And then I took my bust measurement divided by 4 on that arm side length. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to place my armhole curve ruler to connect the 3 points together to form the armhole curve. So having done that, I took my round waist measurement and divided by 4 and I had 8.5 inches. On that 8.5 inch point, I came in by 0.25 and this is going to be for my snatching because it's a corset. Then after doing that, I added 1.5 inch for my dart allowance. So having done that, I connected to my bust measurement on the chest line. And now moving on to the top length, I took my round hip measurement divided by 4 and I connected using my curved ruler to my waistline. So the next thing to do now is to fix in the dart. So for the dart, first of all, I measured my bust span, which is my nipple to nipple, divided into 2, and I placed that on my bust point all the way to my top length. After marking the point, I'll use my straight ruler to connect to form a straight line. So for the dart on the underbust, I came out by 1 inch on both sides, while for the half length I used 0.75. Then I connected the both dart leg to form a straight line. So I placed my ruler from my underbust and I just connected to wherever it stops on my top length. So that made me have 0.5 inch dart on my top length. So I replaced the 0.5 inch dart to the side part and I reconnected to my waistline. Then after doing that, I place my curved ruler to connect the 1 inch dart on the underbust to the bust point. So if you look at this style, it has a princess dart pattern and there are some of them that has like a bustier. So I wanted mine to be a princess dart. So I took note of the midpoint of the armhole and I came down by 1 inch as well. So first of all, I connected using my curved ruler from the midpoint of the armhole to my bust point. While the second one I connected again to my armhole, but this second one I extended the line. So I'm going to come out by 1 inch on the extended line and then connect to form another armhole on this part like this. So this is for the princess dart part. So for the overbust part, I came up by 3.5 inch from my chest line, which is my armhole line, and that is 5.5 inch from my shoulder line. So I'm just going to place my curved ruler and just connect from that point to my armhole. So I first of all use my pen to draw out the curved line and then I use my marker to make it visible. So having done that, I went ahead to check and confirm my measurements. I measured my bust measurements and then my half length. For my half length, I wanted it to snatch more, so I came in again by 0.25. So making it a total of 0.5 inch that I'm taking out from my original waistline. Then after doing that, I reconnected it again. So this is totally optional. You can choose to leave yours like that, but because of the fact that it is a corset and it looks more nicer when it is snatched, Then next I came down by 1.5 inch from my bust point line, and that is my bust dart on the side. So I connected using my straight ruler. So the last part, which is the styling of the corset M, before I go ahead to cut out my front pattern, I came up by 1.5 inch on the side, and then I'm just going to sketch out a curved shape following the inspiration. So guys, this is what it looks like after I finish drafting the front pattern. The next thing I want to do is to cut it out. So just watch closely and see the way I cut the pattern, and take note that my front pattern is on fold. So I'll first of all be cutting it out before I close my bust dart on both sides. So guys, I decided to draft the pattern on fold so you can see the full look of how the dress is going to look like using the front pattern, because I don't know if I'm going to be sewing it. So just in case I don't sew the pattern, you'll still be able to get it following this pattern tutorial. So after cutting out the pattern, I cut open my bust dart like this, and then I separated the both side. Like I said, it is on fold. So I first of all marked the bust point line on the other side, and I slanted it to meet with my bust point. Then after doing that, I separated it. I separated the both patterns, and I closed the bust dart using my paper tape. And then I reconnected the side part and trimmed off the excess. So this is everything for the front part, and this is how it looks. So moving on to the back part, I decided to start before I draw out any line so we don't get confused. I started by rolling a straight line, which is my shoulder line. Then for the back half length, I came up by 1.5 inch from my front half length. Remember, after taking your bust dart, your back half length is going to be lower than your front half length. So instead of using 19 inches, which was my front half length for the back pattern, I made use of 17.5 inches for the back half length. Then I came down by the same 7 inches for my top length. Then after doing that, I drew an horizontal line on that point. So I've gone ahead to label the lines, the shoulder, the half length, and the top length. Then I went ahead to take my zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. So after marking my zipper allowance, I went ahead to measure my shoulder divided by 2, and I came down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Then I marked 3.5 inches for the neck wideness and 1.5 inch for the neck depth. Like I said, this is just a guide. We are not making use of this exact neckline. So you can choose to skip this part. Then after doing that, I came down by 8 inches for my arm cycle length. I already told you how I arrived at 8 inches for the arm cycle length. Then I ruled a straight line on that point. Then after that, I also measured my shoulder divided by 2. So guys, take note that all the measurements I'm taking is after my zipper allowance. So after marking my arm cycle length, I measured the midpoint of that line, and I came in by 0.5 inch. Then also on the chest line, I measured my bust divided by 4. Then the 3 points that you see me marking, I connected to form my armhole curve. Before I go ahead to mark my waist measurement, I want to first of all remove zipper bulge from my zipper allowance. So I divided what I have on my zipper allowance into two on the half length. Then I connected that line to my chest line. I also connected the bottom one to the top length. So I'm going to be cutting out that part. So after doing that, I replaced the inch I removed from that point to reconnect my zipper allowance again. So if you follow this pattern and you draft your zipper allowance like this, your corset zipper is just going to lay flat. There will not be bulging. The zipper will not be bulging on the back. So after that, I took my waist measurements and I came in by the 0.5 inch like I did for the front, and I added 1 inch for my dart allowance. Then after that, for my top length, I measured my round hip measurement divided by 4, and I am not going to be adding any allowance to this part. So I connected using my curved ruler from my top length to my half length. So to mark the darts for the back, you're going to measure what you have on your side, which is your original waist measurement, and measure to your zipper allowance and get the midpoint. Then after doing that, I place my straight ruler to just connect a straight line on that point. Then I marked 0.5 inch on both sides of the line on my half length. Then I place my straight ruler to connect the both dart legs to my chest line, and I also connected to the line on my top length. So having done that, I'm going to mark my back neck depth. So I came down by 0.5 inch on the chest line and I just connected to form a slanted V on the back neck. Then for the hem of the corset, I came in by 1.5 inch just like I did for the front, and I'm also going ahead to sketch out the curve just like I did for the front. So after sketching it out, I made it visible so you can see it clearly. And this is everything for the back part. It is just simple. And then I will go ahead to cut out my pattern. So guys, after cutting out the patterns, I brought back the front part to show you how everything looks like, and also to show you the side part that it ought to be equal on the side part like this. So I labeled and taped the front and back pattern together so you can visualize how the dress will look. So guys, if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like and comment and to subscribe for more amazing content like this. See you in the next one.